Have you heard about the change in fire safety regulation throughout Europe? It's been in place since 2013. Maybe you're wondering how you're going to be able to adjust your business and your product to meet these standards. What have I told you? There's an opportunity for you right now, if you're located in certain markets, to take advantage of this change in regulation and offer the products to your market. I'm Mary Rose Lyons and I'm speaking to you from Thor Duct in Dublin, Ireland. What I'd like to take you through right now is two things. One, I want to make sure that you're as clear on the fire regulation and compliance standards as you need to be. And two, I want to point you in the right direction for where you can take some steps to take advantage of this really great opportunity. Ready to begin? Let's go. There are two standards that you need to be aware of. There's a smoke extract standard that has been in place since 2013 and it applies throughout Europe and all of the CEN countries. There's also a kitchen extract standard which applies if you're working on restaurants, if you're working on anything where there's catering within hotels or any other kind of cooking facility. You need to be aware of both of these standards, and the really good news is that the guys at Thor Duct have put all of their CPD training into an ebook which you can download from the link down below. I'm going to pass you over to Michael, who's the technical lead at Thor Duct, and he's going to give you all the detail.
Historically, we have always worked on the basis of local regulations and meeting the local need. The European Committee for Standardisation became involved in setting proper standards for fire duct and introduced two specific standards which we were not used to before. First one is EN 12101-7, which has got to do with smoke, and 15871, which is a proposed standard for kitchen compartmentation and pressurization. This has introduced a whole new element in our thinking in terms of what is the regulation? How do I meet the regulation? Am I outside the regulation? Is my local regulation enough? Your local regulation is no longer enough. You need to meet the European standards. And so the two standards, 12101-7 and 15871, are very important. You need to understand that if there is a problem and there is a liability, there will be a liability for not having met the current European standards. Just for example, in our local market in Ireland, we would normally use the British standard BS 476. However, in the event of a fire, we will interrogate that fire event to see what we can learn from it. And unfortunately, if we have provided products, or you have provided products, which are not to the current European standard, then you have effectively contributed to the disaster that we're trying to study. Did you hear about the case in Melbourne, Australia? There was a fire, it ended up going to court, and the judge ruled that all the parties involved in the development of the building were culpable. They were all liable, and they all had to share a cost. This is creating a precedent, and even in Ireland, where we have the building control amendment regulations, we are all responsible, and that kind of legislation is entering into all the local areas, all the areas throughout Europe. Thor Duct is tested to the current EN standards. The current EN standards are 12101-7 for smoke and 15871 for kitchen compartmentation and pressurization. So introducing smoke standard, which is 12101-7, what do you need to know? The first thing you need to know is that it became law in July 2013. So it is mandatory since July 2013 in all CEN member countries. Smoke duct is tested for cross-sectional area. What that means is, in a fire, we measure to ensure that it doesn't collapse. Smoke duct is tested for leakage because it's very important that our duct is able to perform and doesn't leak when we require it. It is tested at high pressure. The idea being that we have high temperature fans removing smoke from the scene of a fire, and we need to be able to remove it quickly. So what does this mean for you as a ductwork manufacturer? Firstly, your product needs to be tested to the tests that are appropriate for the standard. Regular ductwork, normal ventilation ducts, have no smoke capacity whatsoever. They will not suffice in a smoke evacuation system. You need a specifically tested and classified duct that is appropriate for smoke evacuation. If your product is not tested and classified appropriately, then it is not suitable for this application. You could be liable. The second product standard is 15871, which covers the use of fire duct for compartmentation, pressurization, and for kitchens. Your restaurant requires a fire duct to remove the fumes from the kitchen. And these products have to be tested to the new European standard. What's different from the old standard? What's changed is the ducts are tested at higher temperatures. We use what's called the hydrocarbon fire curve, which is a more severe fire test. We also test them for longer durations. We test them insulated. And the idea there is that when we are removing hot gases or smoke or fumes from a kitchen or anywhere else, that we won't have a fire break out somewhere else. We don't want a fire starting where a kitchen extract passes overhead and cause the grease to ignite. So there are very specific tests which were never there in the local requirements. These regulations are a good thing. We welcome change in regulations. We all want to play our part. We want to have safer homes and safer buildings for the people that we serve. We don't want to be fined. We don't want to be found liable. You're probably wondering, what do I need to do to get access to this product? Now, there are a couple of different options. One is you can buy from a locally sourced provider, or if you're in a specific geographical area, there may be an opportunity for you to be the local expert, to be Thor Duct for your region. Is that of interest to you? The Thor Duct story is a simple one. The regulations were changing, and so we got involved in testing and developing a product to meet those regulations. In Ireland, the regulations spread very quickly, and we were able to meet our market needs. We went into the UK. We provided the opportunity for local manufacturers within their own regions to have access to Thor Duct, which they willingly took on board and now have changed their business, radically changed their business and their offer to their clients. We're now looking to expand into continental Europe. We're looking to make our offer available to more clients, to people like yourself who may be interested in becoming the local specialist. We at Thor Duct will do the testing, we'll do the classifying, and we'll do the training. You can be first to market in your local area with a fully compliant product to the new standards. You will have all our backup, you will have all of our information, and you will be able to offer to your clients something that will satisfy their legal requirements, but keep everybody safe and make sure you don't get fined. What can you do now? You can download our ebook, and secondly, you can have a conversation with us. Pick up the phone, contact us. We would like to talk to you about the opportunities that exist for you in your local market. I'm Michael Renaghan. I'm the technical lead for Thor Duct, and thank you very much for watching today.